everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ripple Effect Podcast. We're so glad that you've joined us. My name is Daniel, and whether you're listening to this on the go or watching this, we are glad that you're here. In the studio with me is Miss Cheryl Botkins, our counseling minister here at the church. We're glad that you have come back.
Yeah.
It has been a minute.
It has been a minute since I've been on here.
You've not been on here in a while. And we have Miss Emily Stoldt with us, and she has graciously agreed to be here, although this is not her favorite thing.
It's all right.
It's all right. Okay, good. Well, we're glad that you're here. We asked Emily to be here today because we want to talk a little bit more about Access Ministries that I talked a little bit about at the State of the Church address, but we haven't really talked about it publicly yet. And so we want to give you some insider information, and then I wanted to ask Emily a little bit of their story and for her to share a little bit with you guys about what's been going on in their life. So with all of that said, I want to dive right into Access Ministries. Cheryl, could you just give us a little background on how this even came to be? Well, first, what is it, how it came to be, and where is it right now as far as the ministry? Like, where does it stand right now?
Yeah. And Emily, you're welcome to jump in
Okay.
at any point in the process. So, Spire Conference that we go to as a staff brought this to my attention at, I believe it was the Arizona trip when we went out to Phoenix. That church there was talking about the ministries that they have for disabilities. And I sat in on that workshop and thought, wow, we could probably implement something like this in our church. So just did a little feeler through a Facebook post and had some response to that it could be something our church could benefit from. And so a little bit of time passed by, and I reached out to some of the individuals who responded to that, and Emily was one of them, and just said, hey, we need to build a team here and see what would it look like to implement a ministry working with any types of disabilities or special needs within our church, so that's not a limitation for families to be able to come and attend and worship Jesus. And she graciously responded, as well as several others. So we have a team. We work together to say what are the needs, what is the capacity that we can do this outreach in, starting out. What do we name it? What's our mission? How do we move forward from here? And so this team worked together for about 6 months or so before we were ready to say, okay, I think we're ready to move forward.
So tell me so you decided on Access Ministries. Why Access? And were there other names considered?
Oh.
I'm sure you had many more.
I think there were more. But
quite a few more. And that one, I think we looked at, we wanted everybody to have access to being able to worship Jesus and attend church and not have a limit to what that could look like for a family.
to do it comfortably.
And do it, yeah.
Cool. So where does Access Ministry stand right now? Like, what state is it in?
Early stages, but
It is launched, but we are learning as we go.
Okay.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. Launched, but learning as we go. So we have a wellness room that sits just outside the auditorium. So if individuals need to step out of service or they just need a space to, kind of collect themselves, they are able to do that. And we have a universal changing table in there, which is really nice and has already been utilized a few times. That's a great service that we can offer individuals who come here to worship. And individuals who have a need that they want met, we have a form that they can fill out through our online platform. And then we connect with them and see what we can do to help.
So we have, Timberlake has had a quiet room for a while now, kind of trying to be mindful of people that may get overstimulated, but we've never had a ministry that's focused on helping families and being more like reaching out to them and having a plan of how to do this, which is what Access Ministry is supposed to be and designed to be. And so we're really excited about it. Is there any goals, like you say you're launched but learning, which is a great phrase. It's very marketable phrase. Are there any like goals coming up of like, oh, we know we want to do this or we know we need to do that?
I think we're started with the younger kids and would like for church to be accessible for every age. And disability is the only minority that any of us could find ourselves a part of in one car accident.
Yeah.
Or one age that we hit that makes us
Everything
less able.
changes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you need until you're in it and want people to be able to come to church comfortably.
Yeah.
Right.
Luckily, I don't know if it's not luck. I'm sure it was in the planning when this building was built, but the majority of this building is on one level, which is already a great starting point.
Yes.
But space, if there are children that have needs, planning for helping parents, all of those things go into, we want families not just to feel comfortable here, but to know that they're a part of the family and worship together. And if you had a family member that had a special need, you wouldn't just be like, oh, well, they can't come to my house anymore. You do what you can to make sure that they're...
And that is
Absolutely.
the situation for a whole lot of people, that grandma's house is no longer accessible.
Yep.
So Thanksgiving, what do we do?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So growing up, I had the benefit of growing up next to a boy. He was about my age. His name was Jacob, and he was autistic. He had learned to walk before he learned to crawl, so his motor skills were terrible. He was nonverbal, and my mom formed a relationship with his mom, and so we ended up being his aides and his helper. So I can remember as I think I was 11. I went down because he was doing therapy, and I remember grabbing his leg and holding it on this table and moving it in a crawling motion to try to help him relearn how to crawl. And we would go, and he loved jumping on the trampoline, he loved swimming, so we would go hang out with him. So I've had the benefit and blessing of being around someone like Jacob and being around other individuals who have special needs, whether it's physical or mental or a little bit of both. But not everybody does. Not everybody has been around people. And some people get really weird around those with special needs. So that's a very bumpy segue into your story.
That was me.
Because you had a special needs child. So I just want to share your story.
But I was the kid that grew up in the honors classes and the gifted program, and my world was not disabled in any way, shape, or form. And an era where schools were not including everybody in the same classes.
Yeah.
And I am not at all proud of where I come from, and I'm really thankful that God gave me the kid that he did, because I was the weirded out one.
So it was strange for you to be around someone that had a special needs, or it was different?
Yep. Just, if you're not picking up learning as quick as I do, then what's
wrong with you?
What's going on here? Because it's always been easy for me and everyone I've been around.
Sure.
And I knew as a kid, at least by high school, maybe 7th, 8th grade, that I was lacking in character in that way. I already knew that was my own failing.
In empathy, or in what? Lacking what?
That I was, in being weirded out around people who were different from me, that was a me problem.
Oh, okay. I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
I knew that then, and I tried to volunteer with the special needs classroom, and I made it once, and it freaked me out, and I backed way back out again.
Yeah.
And I did that a few times through growing up, that I'd okay, I know I'm lacking in this way, I'm gonna try again. And every time. And then I got my baby. So, and God was like, hey, this one has your last name.
And you can't just back away.
And you already love her.
Yes.
And now you're in it. And
it's interesting to me that you, at an early age, identified that, which I think is probably most people's reaction to those who are different or they don't understand. I think that's probably a normal reaction.
Culturally?
Yeah, culturally.
Because the adults around us when we're little say, don't ask about that.
Yeah.
don't, shh. All those things
Yeah.
that I feel like our culture is moving in the right direction by and large.
Yeah. When my boys were younger and they would see Nate with his robo arm, and they'd want to ask him questions, and I always encouraged them to, and Nate would always have fun with them. And they'd be like, "What happened to your arm?" And he would go, "Ah!" like he just noticed it, or tell them weird stories. But okay, so take us.
Speaking of that, like the range of disability includes Nate,
Sure.
Yeah.
includes Brielle, includes ADHD and autism and all kinds of things that are such a huge variety that
It's a lot.
feels overwhelming when launching this ministry.
Yes, it did.
But that is the goal, is to open communication for everybody to have their needs met.
Launched but learning, one person at a time.
Yes.
Yeah, let's start.
It is very much.
All right, so
Individual.
take me to Brie. Take me to Brielle. When did you learn that something was different with her? Was it immediate, or was it before or after she was born?
Also, my brain works very with what's in front of me.
Okay.
So I did not catastrophize or assume anything was wrong. Very
Your baby's
rose-colored
there.
glasses until it's not. I'm not a worrier
Okay.
in general. So when she was 10 days old, she wasn't gaining weight yet. I had her at home with the midwife, and midwife came over on day 10, and we were trying really hard.
Wait, you had her at home?
I did.
You had a
she
home
was
birth?
the second one I had at home.
I didn't know that. That's so cool. I mean, that freaks me out a little bit, but that's really cool.
Best medical care I ever received.
That's
is with
awesome.
a midwife.
Yeah.
And
Okay, sorry, back
that
on track.
relationship that I had with my midwife allowed me to hear her say, this kid needs to go to the hospital. Because I was looking at this kid, she's fine.
Right.
She's fine. I look back at pictures now, that kid was not fine.
Right.
I didn't see
What
it
a
then.
blessing to have that lady in your life.
That relationship that, yes, she's like, this isn't working. We gotta go get some more help.
Okay, so she's not gaining weight.
She wasn't eating well at
You
all.
got to go to the hospital.
Yep. So medical care is something you got to advocate for, and knowing how to do that is a blessing of the intelligence God gave me, and I have a loving husband that just the privilege of having the brain power and the family support to advocate well. I didn't do it all perfectly, but
Yeah.
that was the first time. You know, when you have a special needs kid, usually it's the first one.
Yeah. Absolutely.
First one you've ever had.
Yeah.
So you're not really sure what you're doing. But
So what did they say when you got to the hospital?
they were sure she had an infection because she was born at home, to which I said,
Yeah, of course.
baloney.
They're like, well, you didn't do it here, so
My house
something
is
must be
cleaner
wrong.
than your hospital in some ways. Yours is sterile, but mine's
Yeah.
yes. We live here, and we're and then they chased a unicorn of one blood number that they thought was causing all the trouble, and they couldn't figure out why. Still don't have an answer for why that was off. That wasn't actually the problem. Finally, so 10 days in, we went into the hospital when she was a month old. So 31 days, we finally did a swallow study and noticed that she was not getting her food down the right pipe. It was going in her lungs. So that's why she wasn't gaining weight. She was not eating because she was protecting her airway.
Yeah.
She was playing the long game. I want to die slow
I was gonna
instead
say.
of quit.
It's amazing that her body already
Children.
was defending
Uh-huh.
itself. Wow.
Yeah. But you will also not make it if you don't eat.
Yeah.
So, got her on thickened formula and thickened breast milk, and then food was going down the right pipe, and then she was gaining weight. But we didn't have answers to why. I had told the doctors early on, don't tell me all the things it could be.
Right.
Tell me when you know.
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything with all this random. It
Options.
could be this and that and the other thing. I don't need to Google that. So we ended up leaving the hospital with a plan for her to eat, but no answers. She had gotten a whole exome sequencing DNA testing sample taken, but the results hadn't come in. So she left the hospital, 47 days old or so. And then at 6 weeks, my numbers are off. Whatever day she left. At 6 weeks old, I got the phone call from the geneticist of what the problem was. And, she has an extra chromosome. This is just trisomy 21. This is just Down syndrome. This is like the most straightforward of the things it could have been. But we didn't see it, which was surprising to all of them. There had been a bunch of really smart people, geneticists and developmental pediatrician specialists who all didn't recognize the facial features and things. So it was a surprise for the geneticist when he called to tell me. He apologized for not noticing. The experience for a whole lot of people with Down syndrome, with having a kid with Down syndrome, is someone saying, I'm sorry about your kid having Down syndrome. Right. Which is like,
don't say
pretty
that.
awful.
Yeah, don't say that.
That's not helpful. And that wasn't, thankfully, our experience.
Well, that's good. So you said you deal with things that are right in front of you, right? Now it's in front of you. How does it hit you? What are you thinking? I mean, I know it's a shock, but what were your thoughts and telling the girls and
I held it a while.
Did you really?
Not from Bill, but we held on to it for a minute. We just needed to process before we could figure out how to say these things to the girls who had no frame of reference.
Sure.
They were 11 and 7.
Yeah, it's not like they had a catalog of ideas of what this would be
What
like.
does Down syndrome look like? They had never met anyone with Down syndrome, at least that they had noticed. They had no idea. So my initial was, I know what that is. And the kid I grew up with in church who had Down syndrome, my first thought was her mom didn't lose herself.
What do you mean by lose herself?
Her mom was a teacher and had friends and was a full human apart from...
Her life wasn't over.
Her life wasn't over.
Got it. Did you think yours was?
No, because I had...
You had that.
The example of Julie to... Okay, I'll be okay. Obviously, she'll be okay. She's a baby. She's perfect. She'll be fine. Because everything's always fine.
Sure.
It's all fine.
It's fine.
So I called Julie pretty early on and made contact with her. And she said from the Facebook pictures that she had seen, she wondered if that's what was going on.
Really?
Really?
Who needs a geneticist?
Right.
Just call Julie.
You need a mom who has seen this before. And I had a couple friends that were like, I wondered. And of course they weren't going to say that, which good, because I didn't even want the doctors to say it.
So do you have... I mean, we are Christians.
Really?
I had to say that out loud. What has been the last, how old's Brielle now?
4.
She's 4 years old. That's right. What's the last 4 years been like of the learning curve of, I can't parent this child the same way. I can parent this child the same way in many regards. And then also just your relationship with God as you've gone through this. Because, I mean... we want obviously her to have a long and healthy life. So I hope there's many more years to come, but what has God been teaching you through the last 4 years? And I don't know, what's been kind of the harder things and the good lessons
You're getting
learned?
a lot of questions in here.
I know.
Start from
Sorry.
the beginning.
Sorry.
What was the first one?
The first question is like your relationship with God how has that been impacted through Brielle having Down syndrome and you having a child that has Down syndrome?
One of my first thoughts was, God knew I needed this. Like, she's not here to teach me a lesson. That's not her job. Her job in life is to honor and glorify God. But one of the side effects will be that I grow as a human too.
Did you think back to?
Oh yeah.
Oh, like
Immediately.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering if you thought back to like the classroom and.
Oh yeah, immediately. It was like, okay, God, you told me when I was in 9th grade that I needed to learn this lesson, and God doesn't stop trying to teach us things just because we're wimps.
That's a great. Can we get that on a T-shirt? I think God doesn't stop trying to teach you things.
And
Just
if you
'cause you're
don't,
whip.
right, and if you don't learn it the easy way, the first time, the whatever, he's gonna keep trying.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm glad for it. Like, she's thankfully really healthy. That is not the story of every kid.
Sure.
By and large, her health needs have been minimal. We thickened her liquids till the beginning of the school year, till just this past summer. She was on thickened liquids, which wasn't convenient, but not like you get in a routine, and it is what it is. There were a few times she picked up somebody else's water cup and tried to kill herself again by putting the liquid in her lungs. But when we got the diagnosis of the aspirating the liquid into her lungs, we were told that she's going to be in the hospital numerous times with pneumonia.
Sure.
This is something that you're going to have to be real vigilant about, and we've got to watch out for permanent damage to her lungs, and every time she gets pneumonia, which will happen, she didn't a single time.
Wow.
Not a single time in those 3 years did she end up in the hospital with pneumonia.
Wow.
So, by and large, she's been very healthy.
She's beautiful.
She's really cool. And you asked if I ever wondered if I could raise this kid. I ask that about all 3 kids. They are all different. I am so thankful that God gave me 3 of them and that B is the last.
Yeah.
Lord willing.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Do we have an announcement to make? Bill? No.
Lord willing. I'm glad that I had 2 other very different children that I'm not supposed to compare them, but they are very different, and they're both wonderful. And I have to parent them both very differently. And I knew that going into a 3rd one, so I don't feel like I'm incapable of raising this one. She's just different in a different way.
So, without, maybe you want to name names, I don't know, but without naming names, potentially, have you felt the judgment from other people or the weirdness from other people or that kind of negativity with having a Down syndrome child? And, it's 2-parter, have you assumed some of that negativity just from yourself towards others?
It is so not in my character.
Okay.
It's just not. I am so oblivious to what other people think.
That's
and what
good.
It
That's a
is
blessing.
and it isn't. I have to work on empathy. It's not my strong suit.
So you're like, whether you're negative to me or not, I don't care.
I don't notice, and if you do, that's a you problem. It's,
Cheryl, can we just comment on that about how healthy that is, probably?
and also, it's not. Like, I've got a very empathetic kid that's like, but don't you care about my feelings?
Right.
Am I supposed to?
You're like, what is this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Poor empathetic husband that's like, you're a meanie. Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah. So that hasn't really played into it for you? Because I know for a lot of families it does. Like,
it does.
The embarrassment.
It absolutely does.
I'm embarrassed by my kid or how they're going to behave. Not like of them and
right.
who they are, but
or
like
scared of other people's judgment.
What are they going to think?
And I've just always assumed that I'm not important enough for people to think or care. Like, because I don't dwell on other people's stuff either.
Yeah.
I'm not going to notice if somebody's wearing the same sweatshirt for every day for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to notice. And if I do, so I assume everybody's like me. They're not.
So you said that the doctor, he could have said something that would have been negative, like, I'm sorry your child has Down syndrome, and he didn't. Have there been things that friends or family or people have done that have been helpful, that you feel like could be a good lesson for our congregation in when you interact with or see a family that seems to have a child or someone in their family with special needs? Here's some good principles, and here's some not so good things that you can avoid.
So
And Cheryl, you can jump in here too.
one of my biggest faith questions in the whole thing was, will B have Down syndrome in heaven? Did God knit her together wrong in every single cell?
Wow.
Because every cell in her has an extra chromosome. Is she that wrong? Is she that broken? And will she be her in heaven if she has the right number of chromosomes? That's one
Do you have the answer
still
yet?
curious.
Okay.
But a good friend of mine reminded me just how broken we all are. She's like, we are not going to recognize each other in heaven. We don't realize how very broken each one of us is in our own bodies, these earthly bodies that are so far from perfection, but we've never seen perfection. So we have no idea how much. I'm not going to need these stupid glasses. My gallbladder's not going to hurt. And I'll be able to run a mile without getting out of breath, maybe. I don't know. But
yeah, maybe Bree is closer to perfect than we are.
I don't know. I also don't want to turn her into a little cherub or anything.
Sure.
She's still human.
Very much so.
And still a fallen creation that needs a savior. So
Were there anything that friends or family did or said that was, obviously that's a good example of someone reminding you of that. Was there anything else that people did that was helpful, or that you had to walk away and just say, they don't understand?
Oh, yeah. There have been lots of... You don't know until you know. And No, I haven't had anybody being purposefully malicious. And mostly people have been willing to hear, hey, the words a Down syndrome kid isn't really the nicest way to talk about people.
Sure.
Brielle has Down syndrome. Yeah, that's one thing about her. She's also got adorable glasses and a quirky little Spitfire personality, and
that's not all she is.
Right, she's a lot.
I think that leads into the idea of a people first.
Yes.
Like seeing the person first.
And
then you recognize the others.
And then you work in a different group of disabilities, and others would prefer to be called autistic instead of a person with autism.
Right.
So each person is worth having a conversation
Have a
with,
conversation.
because even within a single diagnosis, there's not everybody isn't
It's the same.
the same. There are words that are not socially acceptable when talking about developmental disabilities that don't necessarily offend me if they're used in a medical kind of way. And being mean is being mean.
Yeah.
As kids, we always talked about the short bus. And mocking and being mean. That was mean. Don't be mean.
Yeah.
Cheryl, can you come up with I didn't ask you ahead of time, of a list of do's and don'ts off the top of your head?
Definitely the people first. Like, see the individual first. That is so important. And so that may look like, do have a conversation. Do ask a question. don't do it in a malicious or degrading way. I think that those are some important things when you're thinking about an individual. What is their story? What is going on in their world? And understanding them as a person first.
Would you rather someone just ask you, like, I know,
Oh, yeah.
like,
Absolutely.
and I noticed Brielle has something.
There's two sides to that. Like, in this context, absolutely ask me all the questions. Because we're friends.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to wrangle a teenager asking me to buy something at Walmart and somebody else headed somewhere else and a toddler running that I can't catch, I don't have time or energy to answer strangers' questions in Walmart.
Read the room.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And other times I do. Like, we're standing in line and it's going to be a while, by all means, let's chat.
Yeah.
But, yes, read the room.
And I think that's ultimately then the goal of Access Ministry, is helping people be able to ask those questions, but also then to do it in a ways of let's learn, let's help each other, let's support each other, so that we can create an environment where families don't dread coming to church with their children or, someone in their family, but that they know it's okay if they make a little noise.
Make it easy.
Yeah, or they know there's some resources here that it's not as a nightmare as going somewhere else.
Biggest hurdle that I think I've faced is just not knowing where to go for resources in medical, in school, in all the things.
Yeah.
So what I was really hoping for with the Access Ministry was to have well-marked people.
I was going to ask about these. They're very cute.
To know who to talk to, who can be the one to find the answers, so that you don't have to talk to 6 different people to maybe get an answer that may be different between somebody to liaison.
So are these going to be worn by people that you in the church, that if you walk up to someone with the sunflower lanyard, they know this person at least can help, or at least direct me in the right direction? That's a little redundant.
Yeah.
But get me where I need to go, or is that what this is for?
That's the goal.
That's
Sweet.
the goal.
I like it. I like it a lot. I want to ask you one more personal question, but before we get there, what if someone is interested in getting involved or in helping? What are some areas with Access Ministries that people can help with right now?
Definitely looking for buddies.
What's a buddy?
We want to be able to offer more like a personalized or individual one-on-one option. So if as a buddy you are interested in doing that, it would look like being in the classroom with a student that needs more of a one-on-one assistance, or maybe someone to advocate for them if we have someone who is nonverbal. It would be helpful to have someone in the classroom with that nonverbal individual, so that mom and dad can be in the auditorium with worshiping. That buddy would also know what are the things that this student needs to accommodate for them, and maybe even assisting the family outside of a church service. So they kind of step into their world with them as just walking alongside of life. So definitely buddies would be something we would like to see more of. We have a few people that will be wearing lanyards, and we're not opposed to anyone else coming onto the team if they are interested in that too.
It's going to take a unique person who has some understanding and willingness to learn to do that, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I had a scary moment with Brielle in preschool last week that she escaped. She could use somebody. She needs somebody to keep eyes on. Just her, because she is not maliciously or overtly trying to escape, but she has zero impulse control for it.
Sure.
4-year-olds don't have much impulse
I was going to say,
control.
that's a normal...
But she has the mobility of a 3-year-old-ish and the impulse control of not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Needs someone with
just
her.
needs an extra pair of eyes.
Yeah.
Just for her.
Just for her. And if there was someone who knew the signs that she knows, who understood her words better than the average person, which is
'Cause
not,
they've been
to
around
say
them.
not at all, a stranger's not going to understand her. Her family does. That's about it.
But it takes that being around that
Being around
that
enough to
child or
get
that
that.
student to understand and kind of get to know them. Yeah.
And the buddy would have that training, as you mentioned, but also conversations with mom and dad and under or guardian, and really getting to know and understand what the child's needs are.
Yeah. That's great. What's the biggest lesson God's been teaching you right now, specifically with Brio? I know.
Comparison is awful.
Oh. I was going to say let's be done here soon, but let's get into that.
Comparison is awful. It's the thief of joy for sure. And Down syndrome is an Down syndrome families is an awesome group to be a part of. They're loving and welcoming and awesome, but again, the difference of life experience for each kid and each family is entirely
Vastly
unique.
different,
And comparing is bad. Just some
Across all spectrum.
all the things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is my temptation to push a little bit more on that of comparing strengths with weaknesses or perceived weaknesses. We often compare the best of somebody else with the worst of ours.
Right.
And that
And social media is awful.
absolutely.
You get the highlight reel and
Yeah. But that also, like, I imagine that is unique for you, in particularly in reference to Brielle, thinking about families, thinking about future, thinking about what's ahead. How do you remind yourself that comparison is the thief of joy?
that phrase is tucked in there pretty hard.
It's locked in. Mm-hmm. What do you do when you find yourself comparing and not wanting it to rob your joy?
Log off. Because it's thankfully I'm not trying to compare Brielle to her sisters. That's and thankfully there was a huge age gap between the second and the third one that I don't even remember.
And your first and second are pretty well established individuals.
Oh, very
They are.
established
They're
in their
very established.
individuality. Yes,
Yeah.
they're so cool.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit. I know that we love your family and we love Brielle, and we want her to experience all that church and youth group and this community has to offer and not be kept out of things because of Down syndrome or any of the other challenges she might face in the future. And so I'm grateful that you are willing to be a part of the solution and also use your story to help other people. It takes a lot of vulnerability to do that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So if you see people around church and they have a sunflower lanyard, it's not just flower day at the church. There's a reason for it. Access Ministry is launched and learning, and we are praying for and trusting that there's going to be many people who want to be a part of it, who have a heart for helping families and have a heart for helping students. And we're not sure where this is going to take us, because this could go a lot of different directions. Yep. We know what it kind of looks like in other contexts for other churches, but we don't know where it's going to take us. And I'm excited, and I think for me the biggest thing is the lessons that you learn from people that are different than you can be life-changing if you're open to them. And I think this is no exception. So, final thoughts about Access Ministry? You want to say anything to?
I'm very much looking forward to the growth and whatever, like you're saying, whatever direction it may take us. God has blessed us with opportunity to serve our church and our community in this way, and so it's exciting.
Yeah. It's been interesting, the amount of individuals that just in the last 4 years ish that have either been here or have come through here or still here that have some type of need or special need or disability. And it's like, this is perfect timing, I think, of we're not too far behind the curve, as in like a as like a curve for like grade. Okay, I always said curb.
You're wrong.
And I never understood, why are you behind a curb? That doesn't make any sense.
No, the curve of like how
Yeah.
a graph.
A graph.
curve.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're behind the curve, that means you're really not.
Slacking.
I'm gonna edit that out. I'm gonna just edit that out. I'm excited because we're not that. It doesn't feel like we're far behind. It feels like we've seen. Oh, this is something that's needed, and
I am
working on it.
100% confident that 15 years ago there were people who didn't come because they couldn't come comfortably.
Yeah.
We missed people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We are behind.
Okay.
It's okay.
Then I stand corrected.
We're starting where we are,
Yeah.
and anybody who is vulnerable enough to ask, we're gonna try.
We are.
Well said. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited for where this ministry goes. It's going to be great. So if you want more information or you're curious about Access Ministries, talk to these ladies and they'd love to share with you a little bit more about it. If you know a family that maybe have had bad experiences with churches in the past with either needs in their family that were unmet or people who just didn't understand, maybe you can talk to them about this and say, hey, there's a place that's trying to do something here and trying to make a difference. We love you all. We hope to see you here next time on the Ripple Effect podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.